This presentation is about the most well-known mistake made by the United States and headed by President John F. Kennedy in the 1960s. This is known as the Bay of Pigs. In the 1960s, many countries around the world became fearful of other countries as technology emerged that could produce weapons that were powerful enough to kill thousands of people. The fear that resulted was due to an increase of countries stockpiling these weapons to protect themselves and to scare their neighbors. These powerful weapons came in the form of missiles and nuclear warheads. As countries began increasing their own inventory of these weapons solely for the purpose of strength and world power, tensions quickly heightened around the world. One of the strongest nuclear war threats was the Soviet Union. In early 1961, President John F. Kennedy felt that Cuba, led by their dictator Fidel Castro, was a Soviet client working to subvert Latin America. After a great deal of controversy, Kennedy authorized an invasion of Cuba by a brigade of Cuban exiles. The brigade entered Cuba at the Bay of Pigs, of which the mission was named for. The brigade hit the beach at the Bay of Pigs on April 17, 1961. The operation collapsed very quickly. The Cubans had proved to be readily prepared for the invasion and to have had a far greater show of arms. The small brigade of exiled Cubans failed to make it past the beach at the Bay of Pigs. With the Cubans surrounding them as they made landfall, the brigade stood no chance. Though no one in the brigade was harmed, all were captured. It was only a matter of days until the secret mission became known as a failure throughout the United States. President Kennedy eventually took public responsibility for the mistakes made at the Bay of Pigs, but he remained determined to rid Cuba of Fidel Castro. It was thought by many in the United States and most of the people in the president's cabinet that as long as Castro remained in power, Cuba would be a nuclear threat that was extremely close to the U.S. shore. This event caused exaggerated tensions between the United States and Cuba that would last decades. The Bay of Pigs has become known as one of the United States' most famous and most reckless mistakes.